Welcome to meeting number 739 of Mumbai Toastmasters. And I'm the Sergeant at Arms who will be helping you today with general instructions. I'll set the tone and I'll just tell you what to do and what not to do so that we all have a great meeting. Now, coming to the mission of Mumbai Toastmasters. The mission is we provide a supportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. And with each and every meeting, we make sure that this mission grows stronger and stronger. And let's have a great meeting today. So I'll pass it on to the presiding officer for today. Now she's a very young person and she's the VP PR of current Mumbai Toastmasters term. And she's pursuing interior designing, and I'm sure that she's so creative. So let's hear from her. And I welcome on the Zoom Master stage our presiding officer for today, Komal. Over to you, Komal.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to meeting number 739 of Mumbai Toastmasters. I read this quote on Instagram which said, if you keep taking a bite of the cake that harmed you, you no longer fall victim to it. You become a hungry volunteer. And that's how I discovered this amazing author called Vex King. I started following him on Instagram and I was so inspired by the quotes that he used to post that I bought this book called Good Vibes, Good Life by Vex King. As human beings, it is very difficult for us to remain positive all the time, even in the toughest phase of our lives. But this book has very well described how to remain positive even in such situations by conquering our negative thoughts. I honestly fall short of words to describe this book, but it has to be the best book that I've ever bought because it makes you understand all the important things in a very subtle way without sounding preachy or imposing or boring. So if there's a book that will change your life for good, it has to be this one. So go and order yourself a book and thank me later. You're going to change your life for good. And like Vex King says, life doesn't battle you because you are weak. It battles you because you are strong. Just because you can't see a point behind a challenging time doesn't mean there isn't one. On this note, let us welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Khushbu Modi. Over to you, Khushbu.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Komaldeep, for that wonderful introduction. A very good morning to fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. It is my absolute pleasure and privilege to welcome you all to the 739th meeting of Mumbai Toastmasters. So as the Toastmaster of the day, it is my duty to explain you the structure of this meeting. Just like any other meeting of Toastmasters, this meeting also is divided into 12 segments. Oh, no, sorry. That is in a horoscope, my bad. This meeting is divided into 3 segments, just 3 guys, 3. So the first one is the prepared speech round, where the members who've prepared their speeches would be delivering it. So let's get started with the meeting and enter this metaphysical realm of zodiac signs. Let's make it a little fun, you guys. So what I will do is, every time I introduce a speaker or a role player, I will be reading out that person's personality traits, that person's characteristics on the basis of what I see. Just a disclaimer, it may or may not be true. It is what I see in the crystal ball on the basis of the zodiac sign that the crystal ball thinks is right for that speaker. And you in the audience will have to guess. So let's make this interactive. You will have to type your answers in the chat box. I hope the chat box is enabled. Please type your answers of the sign that you guess is right for that particular speaker or role player. Yeah. And then whoever gets the right answer, the most right answers, would be getting a prize in the end by Abhiraj. the breast. All right. So without further ado, let's get into the round where the prepared speeches round for now. I think the stars have aligned, my dear friend Himanshu, for you, as it's your turn. May I please request Himanshu's evaluator, Sonal Jain, first to read Himanshu's speech objectives, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Toastmasters and guests. My speaker, Himanshu, is going to attempt Level 1, Project 2B. And the purpose of this project for Himanshu is to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and then apply that feedback. So in this speech, Himanshu is going to demonstrate that he has applied the feedback received from his first speech. I'm eagerly looking for his speech, and all the very best to Himanshu. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Sonal Jain, for that. Himanshu, please brace yourself. My crystal ball says Himanshu loves yoga. He is a social butterfly, can talk to a brick wall. Playful and intellectually curious, he is known for his gift of gab, making him no stranger with witty repartee. Pratima says Gemini. Okay, interesting. All right, Himanshu, what's your sign?
It's Gemini.
Ooh, a lot of people have gotten it right. Good job, guys. Himanshu Mehta, ponder on the opposite. Ponder on the opposite. Himanshu Mehta.
Thoughts are always present in an active mind. Ever wondered how many thoughts manifest in a day in a normal human being? Please type your answer in the chat box. Good morning, fellow Toastmasters and guests. Yes, we are bombarded over 60,000 thoughts a day. Out of this, about 70% are negative or unproductive thoughts. The question is, what would you do with such over 40,000 wrong thoughts? When the mind is disturbed by wrong thoughts, switch over to the opposite. That's the technique in yoga of replacing negative thoughts with the positive ones. As prescribed by Maharishi Patanjalli in Yoga Sutra 2.33, this technique is known as Pratipaksha Bhavana. The literal meaning of this term is moving to the other side of the mention. Prati means other, opposing. Paksha means side or wing or mention. Bhavana is strengthening attitude. Yogic thinking or Pratipaksha Bhavana says, be a silent observer, be a witness to the whole event, and everything will pass by. This made me understand that positives overcome the negatives. Just as you see in this pitch dark room, switching on a light bulb illuminates the entire room. This is Pratipaksha Bhavana. Let me share a practical implementation through my experience. I was driving through Dharavi Road. It was dug up everywhere, full of potholes like moon craters. A hefty man was walking in the middle of the road and wouldn't move an inch. Instead, he started abusing me, came on me, banging on my car. Provoked by his behavior, I was getting angry and agitated. I was about to shout back. But suddenly, Pratipaksha Bhavana flashed into my mind. I calmed down, asked him nicely, brother, what would you do if you were driving in my place? You wouldn't stop the car and wait for the road to get empty, which would never ever happen. You would always be honking to caution people, right? If you have a better way, then please enlighten me. I'm willing to follow it. Hearing this, he cooled down, stepped aside, and started walking on the side of the road and also guiding me to drive along it. A little ahead of the road was dug up, and beside the road, a divider, there was a big stone which was not visible for me from my driver's seat. He came in front of my car, signaling me to stop. He pointed at the big stone little ahead of my car. He halted the traffic on the opposite side and made it possible for me to drive out of the ditch, saving my car from the possible damages. I safely pulled out onto the open road, lowered my window, and thanked him with a smile. He responded back with a warm smile and a kind of a salute. This is the magical power of Pratipaksha Bhavana. An angry person who had intended to provoke a fight with me had transformed into a friendly guide because I had succeeded replacing my anger by compassion. Pratipaksha Bhavana is all about awareness and making the correct choices. Many self-help books call it as a law of polarity. It is making choices out of awareness. More I started becoming aware and making right choices, more my ability to solve problems improved. Maharishi Patanjalli says, ponder on the opposite. If you are feeling discontented, contemplate about contentment. Bring a balance. If your mind is angry, bring compassion in. When you feel hateful, think of love. When you feel desire, think of desirelessness, and the silence comes in. Once you know the neck of it, you have the key. Any moment, sadness can become ecstasy. Suffering can become bliss because it's not different energy, but the same energy, only direction is pivoted and elevated. Let's have a reality check of this technique. I've been noticing one guest looking lost or sad. Let's work on him. Zoom Master, can you please spotlight guest Deepak Mehta? Hi, friend. If you're feeling sad, then think of happy moments you spent with your girlfriend. In case she has ditched you, then you better imagine yourself on a date with Nora Fatehi. See, friends, now you see Deepak happy and blushing. Now, in this case, in this kind of a situation, as illustrated, if one person just moves in the other person's space for a minute, then the problem sublimates. Whatsoever is negative is dangerous for you and for others. It creates misery for you and for others. Be alert, be astute. Whenever you catch a negative thought, encounter such a situation, just ponder on the opposite and create a blissful life. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Himanshu. That was playful and intellectually curious, I must tell you. Now we move to the final segment, the general evaluation round. For that, may I please call Kashmira. Over to you, Kashmira.
Good afternoon, everyone. And what an enthusiastic meeting we are having so far. As the general evaluator for the meeting, it is my duty to introduce all our evaluators. Let us introduce our first evaluator, Sonal Jain.
Thank you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Kashmira. My speaker, Himanshu. First of all, what a wonderful introduction to the concept of Pratipaksha Bhavana. I request all of you to clap a lot for him to explain that entire concept in just 7 minutes. And that too by using a lot of props and by using sounds and a lot of concept. So Toastmaster Himanshu, your speech was not only detailed, but you also used the entire virtual background. Kudos to you for that. The background was really relatable, and you used lights. Yes, lights to explain the concept, how it feels from within to apply that concept. You also used sound to tell us what it feels when someone banged on that car. So very accurately explained the entire feeling. You not only introduced the concept to us, but also you explained how to apply that concept. And you had not only made the speech interactive through chat, but also had one of the guests come up and said that just imagine you are feeling happy instead of feeling sad. So that was very wonderful. Now, the purpose of your speech was to apply the feedback, and the feedback that you received was to provide the clear transition. And Toastmaster Himanshu, you have done that. We didn't know when you explained the concept and when you made us apply that concept and when you concluded the entire speech. That was just like the flow of the water. Now, every speech has something that could be worked upon. And in Toastmaster, we all are seeking one thing, that is improvement. And for you, everything was at its place. Just one suggestion for you, that when you used the image, it contained the word ego, and you could have referred to that, or you could have deleted that word. And the second thing, when you were referring to some emotions like sadness or suffering, you could have showed that just like a sad thing or a suffering. And then when you were referring to happiness or blessing, you could have showed that through the emotions. And that is all what I have in Stay With You. And all in all, that was a very wonderful speech, wonderfully written, smartly done. All props were used. You used books, sounds, lights, and everything was up to the mark. And I think the stars are aligned for you to become a better speaker day by day. Thank you, Himanshu, for your speech. And thank you, General Evaluator, for providing me with that opportunity to evaluate his speak. Over to you, General Evaluator Toastmaster Kashmira.
Thank you for your evaluation, Sonal. Let us call the listener who is, well, the listener can introduce themselves.
Thank you, General Evaluator. So, yeah, am I audible to everyone? Yeah. So, get along with me to play a KBC round now, because I'm going to test your listening skills. Everyone, please, it's my request to raise your hands before answering the questions. So my first question is, as per Himanshu, how many thoughts are boarded in human beings? So the options are A, 20,000, B, 5,000, or C, it's 60,000. Anyone? Okay. Abhiraj?
60,001.
Yeah, it's correct. Okay, so the second question is, which bhavna Himanshu talked about in his speech? So the options are Moksha Bhavana, B. Pratipaksha Bhavana, and C. Sadbhavana. Okay, speaker 3, Divya Iyer.
Pratipaksha Bhavana.
Neha,
Okay.
I request you not to take players who have already done a role
Okay,
and give others a chance to speak. Yeah.
sure. Thank you, Divya. It's a correct answer. So my third question is, Pratipaksha Bhavana is also known as A, law of polarity, B, law of attraction, C, law of inertia. Guest Shabashish.
Law of polarity.
Yeah, correct. So thank you, general evaluators. It was a nice session with everyone. I'm over with the session.
Thank you so much, everyone, for joining.